Kevin J. Johnston, the #1 name in the land of the North, he's risen to fame. 40 years deep in the law he's read. Now the CRA shakes in fear and dread. Stop paying tax forever, my friend. With Kevin J. Johnston, the fight doesn't end. Corporate debt, he'll make it all good. He's the man the CRA misunderstood. Payroll problems, they vanish like mist when Kevin shows up with his legal fist. No more matching, no more lies, just clean-cut books and clear blue skies. Stop paying tax forever, my friend. With Kevin J. Johnston, the rules start to bend. The CRA can scream and shout, but Kevin knows how to throw them out. They claim they've got the final say, but Kevin proves there's a better way. He fights for truth, he fights for you, and teaches what the courts won't do. Forever today. Let Kevin J. Johnston show you the way. The expert, the rebel, the man with a plan. He's saving this nation, one client per hand. He's got 40 years of tax law knowing and corporate skills that keep cash flowing. GST, payroll, all in line. He'll save your neck and every dime. He studied law, both civil crime, and makes tax code sound so sublime. With stand-up jokes and punchlines tight, he makes your seminar a night of light. Kevin J, Kevin J, CRA just runs away. He's the tax manslayer with a legal plan, the best-looking genius in the land. Kevin J, Kevin J, taking all your tax away. If the government's scared, then it's safe to say he's the hero of the North, Kevin J. 2 million women cast their vote, said Kevin's hot, that's all she wrote. The suits at CRA can't compete, he's beaten them clean without deceit. 100 mil he's saved so far, he's raising truth like a legal star. And if you think you owe the state, he'll show you how to terminate. Kevin J, Kevin J, CRA just runs away. He's the tax manslayer with a legal plan, the best-looking genius in the land. Kevin J, taking all your tax away. If the government's scared, then it's safe to say he's the hero of the North, Kevin J. The tax act's just a paper myth unless you work for CRA, no ifs. He buys your corp, clears every cent, then laughs while walking from the government. Restructure payroll, skip the fees, fire the tax man with graceful ease. He's winning battles in the courts each day. Soon he'll cost the feds $1 billion. Hooray! Kevin J, CRA just runs away. He's the tax manslayer with a legal plan, the best-looking genius in the land. Kevin J, Kevin J, Kevin
Kevin J. Johnston here. Welcome to the Tax and Money Show, which runs every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on freedomreport.ca. Tonight, we're going to talk about the business of Jake Paul exposed. That's right. We're going to talk about this silly little boxing match that everybody around the world cannot wait to talk about, cannot wait to offer an opinion on, and have never really honestly pieced together what this fight really was all about. And we're going to cover that this evening, everybody. I want to say welcome to the last show of 2025. We do have to apologize that last week we just simply could not get StreamYard, Rumble, or Restream to work last week. Imagine having 3 websites that had nothing but trouble for the entire day. So unfortunately, we were only live last week with Jason Lamar on TikTok, but even then we got over 37,000 views. So I want to say thank you to everybody for showing up for last Tuesday's show. Thank you for the commentary, and for all the trolls out there. I couldn't see the screen. So it wasn't like your trolling was equating to anything. And as always, we don't talk to the trolls anymore. The trolls were very useful to me in getting my platforms online built up, because you remember I used to insult the trolls, but now we're just going to throw them out. So don't worry, folks. When we get trolls in the room, I will just turf them. That is how that works. So I wanted to start off right away. Jake Paul, I don't particularly care for the guy. At the same time, I don't really particularly not care for the guy either. He is someone that I have to salute, if you will, because right now he's in the news. Just like he was in the news a couple of months ago, and he was in the news the whole time. This guy knows how to get himself into the news. And all of you out there who are watching know how to help him perpetuate his exposure to the news and his exposure to the world and his exposure to more money. Right? That's how that works. Now, keep in mind, everyone, the question period is after the first hour. We got to talk about this Jake Paul thing, but not for the reasons that you think, because I don't care who won the match. Just like I don't care who wins the Super Bowl. I don't care who wins the Stanley Cup. I couldn't care less which grandmaster wins in chess, because those things do not make me money. And Jake Paul does not make me money. However, I do feel it's my job as the host of the Tax and Money Show to show each and every one of you perhaps the error of your ways and perhaps help you get better in your business life. So Jake Paul, for those who don't know anything about this guy, he had a brother named Logan Paul, and the two of them came across a discovery that many people didn't really pay attention to until it was too late. I'm sure we all know what TikTok is. You're kind of watching me on it. We all know what Instagram is, and Clapper and Bumpkin and all these other cheap copies of the original, which was called Vine. That's right, Vine. Vine. It was positively a ridiculous platform. I couldn't stand the platform because you had 6 seconds. You had to crack a joke or be interesting within 6 seconds. And the only video that ever really stuck out in my mind was these two guys would say, we're following fat people in grocery stores. And they would just follow morbidly obese men and play a trumpet going, or no, sorry, a saxophone going, ba-rum, ba-ba-ba-ba-rum, but like the Family Guy joke. Okay, funny stuff, but it's irritating to only watch 6 seconds of content. What the hell could I possibly learn in 6 seconds? I mean, you need to be learning or leveraging what you've learned, or you really are wasting your time. So I know everyone out there wants to be entertained by this stuff, but I know I wasn't. And I think the modern generation was. So let's talk about this Jake Paul guy for a little bit here. Again, not from the standpoint of I like him, and not from the standpoint that I hate him. You'll find out shortly what I'm talking about. Jake Paul has a humble start, grew up in Ohio. He had absolutely no connections to the music, video, or boxing industry at all. He began posting short, crappy content online as a teenager. So he was an early one to master Vine, that Vine.com thing. He posted daily on it, cracking 6-second jokes. Obviously, someone found them funny because he and his brother did very well on that. He learned pacing, hooks, and viral humor. Good for him. He built a following before most people took social media seriously. And listen, I know that I didn't. I couldn't stand Instagram when it first came out. I couldn't stand Bumpkin and Pinterest and all. I couldn't stand any of them, really. I find social media can eat up your entire life if you allow it to do so. But I'd rather be a creator than a consumer. That's the truth. So he migrated over to YouTube when Vine died. Vine died because they were not rewarding their creators with money, like YouTube does sometimes, like Instagram does sometimes, like TikTok will do here. With TikTok, everybody, I make good money on TikTok. No, I don't. I make anywhere between 2 cents and 50 cents during a 2-hour live on TikTok. I'm not really incited or enticed to create content for the payouts. I create content because it gains me clients. I make money off clients, not off of TikTok. Regardless, he went to YouTube when Vine had died. He was relentless, and he actually learned everything that he needed to know about search engine optimization, which is something I continue to tell all of you to learn. You want to make money in business, you need to know how the search engines work. You need to know where to buy ads, where not to buy ads, which social media platforms will bring you in the right traffic to make money on. These are things that we all need to know. And I know that a lot of you don't like Jake Paul, but he figured it all out years before everybody else did. So for him, he and his brother, they actually treated content like a business, not just fooling around. Like most kids would pick their nose on camera and smear it on the camera and, ha, 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 ha. And that was it. And then they'd walk away and that video would get 1 million views, but they would make no money on it. That's how it is. These guys, the two brothers, were relentless in making sure that money came in. So he got cast on some show called Bizarrevark. I don't know. I wouldn't watch it. And he was using mainstream television to funnel attention back to his own platforms, which is what I was doing back in 2021. I was using all the lawsuits filed against me for telling the truth about that, nonsense to do with, the nonsense pandemic. I was utilizing these court cases to bring in millions of views, and it worked. I was trolling the newspapers by saying egregious and outrageous stuff, which put me on the front page of every newspaper in the country for a straight year. So like myself with the Canadian media, these guys figured out American media, where there's absolutely a whole lot more money. All right. And then he had some deal with Disney. I don't know what the deal was, but he left Disney to pursue his own stuff. Good for him. Now, on his personal branding, he's playing the villain. All right. Jake Paul plays the villain. It's an act. It's showmanship. It's Hollywood is what it is. So he's been monetizing this villainy, this artificial villainy, and people are lapping it up. This guy is selling hats and T-shirts and shoes. He's got his own drink now. He sells all this stuff because people cannot wait to get online and talk about how much they hate Jake Paul. And every time you do, he makes money. It's insane. All right. He's learned leverage. This guy, he's had a couple downfalls. He learned some lessons in upscaling too quickly. Okay, so that means he made some mistakes. Doesn't matter. The guy's richer than me by a whole lot. And in monetization intelligence, in early focusing, this guy was actually doing direct-to-fan sales. He was bypassing everybody. He was even bypassing Amazon. And that's how his name got out as quickly as it did. He was in complete control of all the stock that he had within his own wares, his own lines of clothing and whatnot. And sometimes you just have to do it. So he was reinvesting all of his profits into bigger products and bigger promotions. He actually was not a property purchaser. A lot of times you'll find that some celebrities, they'll take their money and go straight to property or straight to gold and silver or straight to some major investment. He actually did not do that. Jake Paul and his brother Logan, they were just reinvesting back into their own advertising campaigns. Obviously, it has worked. So now 6 years ago, Jake Paul, he pivots. He enters into boxing. But this guy, he's turned boxing now into WWE, WWF for those who remember my days. And with him getting involved in boxing, he did it the right way. He came in as like a WWE villain, like what was that guy's name? The Iron Sheik and the Russian guy and so on. So, he came in doing all of this stuff and it worked. So he was picking his opponents strategically to build credibility step by step, which really what it means is he was fighting guys that were 50 to 70 pounds less weight than him. And he started winning these matches. And of course, because nobody really thinks about who the opponent is, all they know is Jake Paul just started boxing and now he's winning. Well, he was strategic. He picked fights he knew that he could win. So he did train. All right, guys, I'm going to give him that. Jake Paul got himself fit and he trained. I can't begrudge the guy for the training that he did. It's not easy to be in the boxing circuit. I used to do it in my early 20s. I can tell you that in the last 30 days of training, whenever you are boxing, it is chicken, water, chicken. Do you know how hard it is to eat 9 chicken breasts a day? There's no room in your stomach. I mean, not only are you pissed off because you're just eating chicken, you're pissed off because you got to eat 9 chicken breasts. How many of you could do that now? It was tough. So I'd have to blender chicken and literally just take it down in the blender, cook it, and then throw it in the blender with water and swallow it. So to eat nothing but bland chicken with no sauce and no pepper and no salt and no onion powder, no spice, it's hard. So by the time you actually get to fight day, after 30 days of hardcore training and this ridiculous chicken diet, you got to get to your weigh-in. And there's been a few times where I was 2 pounds too heavy. Do you have any idea how hard it is to lose 2 pounds in the same day that you want to fight? It's all water weight, by the way. You're not going to lose fat. It's just water weight. So you got to sweat everything out, weigh in. Okay, good. Now I got that 2 pounds down. And now I got to drink like salt with Gatorade and stupid stuff like that just to rehydrate, get the 2 pounds of water weight back into the body. It's hard work. So we got to salute anybody who can keep that up. I kept that stupid lifestyle up for 3 years. It was insane. I was very happy to walk away from it, realizing I was never going to have a professional bout. Kept asking myself, why the hell am I doing this? I'm not at parties. I'm not picking up chicks. I'm not at work earning more money. I don't even have time to enjoy the car I bought because I'm in the gym all that time. So if you can't find a way to make money with boxing, get into it for fitness, but don't get hit in the head. All right, it sucks. I've been knocked out cold a few times. It sucks. It really does. So with his narrative control, Jake Paul and his brother, Logan Paul, they turned every boxing match into an event. And that's where I'm going with this. Now, focus on what I'm saying here. When you're doing marketing for your business, everyone, you need to turn your business into an event. You've got to, I know it's a lot of work, but you got to have a promoter out there who's got some kind of special deal going on once a month, not where you're dropping your prices, but where you're offering a bit more value for the money that you are charging. You've got to make events. If you've got a restaurant, you should have a different event every single month. Doesn't matter what it is. The hockey game, the football game, dance competition. You got to find some way to get people in the door to spend money inside your place. That's what these guys were doing. Every fight was a big deal. Every fight had some big announcement and a whole bunch of crap talking back and forth. And a whole bunch of this Jake being an ass, but Jake being an ass because it pays. So he always sold the story of, I'm just a YouTuber versus the entire world. I'm the YouTuber that's boxing now, and I'm going to win all these fights. And he did win some of his fights because he outclassed the guys only because of his size and his body mass, not because of his special talent, if you will. All right. Now, with criticism, I've turned criticism into a business. I have. Every single time I feel like making some more money, I piss off the Canadian media, and they talk about me. And oh God, have I got plans to irritate the Canadian media for 2026? Let me tell you that. So every single time this guy got criticized, he would turn the thing into some kind of event. Oh, man. So his financial outcomes, this Jake Paul guy, along with his brother, they have massive earnings from pay-per-view. Yeah, this YouTuber turned into a boxer already had a massive fan base. So they were able to get pay-per-view, major sponsorships, major merchandising, and equity stakes in every single event, which means either Jake Paul or his brother Logan Paul or somebody involved with the Paul brothers is one hell of a negotiator. And that's something else a lot of you don't do. You don't negotiate. You're not negotiating for better rates on your phones, better rates on your gas and water, better rates on your lease, better rates on your marketing. It's all about negotiation, everybody. And these guys are masters at it. I don't begrudge them, because they're doing the right thing to bring in money. Now, key traits behind this rise to fame. This is what I want you to pay attention to. Ruthless consistency. Ruthless consistency. That's the term that we use in marketing. If you are ruthless and you are consistent and the message is the same for as long as the message needs to remain the same, and you tweak it a bit to move into the next phase, you are going to constantly have an influx of clients, constant influx of clients. So with him, and there's guys out there like myself, like Ricky Gervais, like, was Donald Trump. We love the insults. We absolutely adore the idea that we can irritate people enough, especially me with the Canadian government and the far left. Irritating people does equate to traffic. There's no such thing as bad press, as they say. Horrible press is great press. Take it from me. I've had every newspaper in the country slander my name. And it's incredible how quickly people are eager to point out, hey, you said this awful thing, and we know because the CBC said so. You'd be amazed at how many clients that I am getting from Canadian broadcasting corporations published on their own website 4 years ago. Whenever you get press like that, it stays. And if you know how to manage it, it's good. So all of you might want to consider finding some ways to spark some controversy out there, bring more money into your corporation. So with these two guys, they have the ownership mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset. These are not guys who are looking for a job. These are guys that want to be in charge of their own destiny. And that is something that a lot of you need to consider as well. I keep telling you, I can help you get rich by completely eliminating your need to pay tax. Completely. But if you're just looking to work a job 9 to 5, you're not going to get rich. I'll help you kill your tax bill. But by no means are you ever going to advance beyond that salary. No matter how much money I get you back, it's still a static salary. And that is why I no longer hire people, period. I bring partners in. I bring entrepreneurs in, guys who want to make some dough. And I'm talking some real dough. Not only have I become a millionaire in the last 2 years, but I've made one more millionaire as well. And I'm probably going to make 3 more at least this year, all partnering with me in the various corporations that I run. That's the Paul brothers. That's what these guys do. So the legacy that is being built right now by the Paul brothers is one that all of you out there are helping to perpetuate. Not specifically you folks watching this show right now, but the general public hears Jake Paul get up and shout at the top of his lungs, and everyone gets upset. And then they tweet about him. Every single time he upsets you, they tweet, or they Instagram, or they TikTok. Someone's got something to say. And I don't think the general public has ever caught on to the fact that this has been done before. A prime example of someone that could irritate the hell out of anybody online, Dennis Rodman. Remember him? The basketball player. Everyone thought that he was mentally ill. He wasn't mentally ill. He just knew what he was doing. He was a black dude who would show up with green hair. You tend to notice stuff like that. He'd get really wild haircuts, and every game, it would be a different color. He had emerald green. He had ruby red. He showed up with this weird yellow one time with stripes on it. Had nothing to do with basketball. And then he had piercing. He had piercings everywhere. And as he's playing professional basketball, I can't believe he did that because someone's finger could get in there and rip it off. But his chains are just ringing all over his face. And you all paid attention to it. He'd come out and swear on TV, and you'd all pay attention to it. That is called marketing. That is marketing 101. I want to also point out to all of you out there that those gentlemen who have done this stuff have figured out, they've captured the purple cow. There's a book you all have to read if you want to start making some real money next year, everybody. It's this big. It's not even the height of my head. It's about this wide. It's purple. The author's name is Seth Godin, Godin. The book is called The Purple Cow, where he talks about finding that one big marketing ploy that works for you, for what you sell, for your niche, for who you are, for what your business is. You find that it's called the purple cow, or at least that's the phrase that he coined. You find that and you run with it. Well, Jake Paul has found out that if he behaves himself like a complete ass all the time, that all of you give him money. So I know you're not going to see this, everybody, on TikTok, unfortunately, but everybody else on Rumble and Kick and DLive and Restream and Twitter and everywhere else are going to see these images. Let me just have a quick peek here and see how the Rumble room is doing. Yep, yeah, good. Thank you all for being here on Rumble. So let's have a look here. We've got this. First off, I want to point this out. I got to make a really good point here about marketing and about how foolish people can be. And this really ties in well. So for those who remember Maple Leaf Gardens, that's Maple Leaf Gardens right there in Toronto. That's where the Toronto Maple Leafs played, the Laughs or the Loafs, whatever you want to call them. I love the arena itself. The team I couldn't care less about. The arena was great because there's a ton of nostalgia and history in it. Now, I was invited back in grade 8 to see WrestleMania in Maple Leaf Gardens. And the private box, you can see right there in the circle, was directly below the corner blue mezzanine. That's where it was. And I asked, what's above the private box that we're in? So the guy who owned the box walked me upstairs to the balcony. That's where the arrow is. So I was at that arrow watching WrestleMania. And I was floored, everybody, at what was being shouted by these WWF at the time. Now it's WWE. But all these fans shouting at King Kong Bundy and shouting at the Iron Sheik and the Soviet guy. They're just shouting every profane word known to man. Yeah, and they loved it. And when finally Hulk Hogan beat King Kong Bundy in the ring, the crowd went so wild and crazy that you'd swear to God the Leafs just won the Stanley Cup in third overtime in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. I've never seen anyone cheer for the Toronto Maple Leafs as loud as they were cheering for that stupid fake crapola known as WWE wrestling. It ain't wrestling. It's acting. Well, in grade 8, I observed that the average person could very easily have the wool yanked over their eyes by anybody who's good at marketing. And as much as Canadians say that they hate Americans, I'll tell you this. I hate wrestling, by the way, but I was invited to 3 different WrestleManias in Toronto region, and I went to all 3. And all 3 times, I can tell you the fans were equally as dumb as any American fan would be in the South, screaming and yelling at the top of their lungs for grown men rolling around on a mat. Yeah. And don't ever sit there and tell me that you're not going to watch WrestleMania if it's the American guy in the ring, because the whole product is an American product. Boxing is an American product. The NHL, the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, the AHL, NASCAR, these are all American products. And Canadians do spend a lot of time screaming at the top of their lungs about how much they hate Americans, but consume everything American. You're hypocrites. Stop it. It's childish. Nobody likes hearing that nonsense. If you like it, you like it. Good for you. There's nothing wrong with liking something that's American. I happen to enjoy Australian rules football. I watch it all the time. I don't need to be Australian for that. And Australia right now is in complete financial dire straits, but I'm not going to stop liking the sport because I don't like how the government is treating its people. I happen to love Gaelic football. The Irish version of a combination of rugby and soccer. Great game. I watch it all the time. Right now, Ireland is in great financial difficulty. It's not going to stop me from enjoying what I enjoy. And that is something that we all need to consider. You like it, watch it. Great, good for you. Don't let it consume your life, but watch it. All righty. Jake Paul, let's talk about some of what he's done here. Maple Leaf Gardens, that's the story. I want you to know that I was floored at how big the cheering and the clapping was for all this stuff to do with wrestling. But then we're watching this ridiculous Jake Paul fight, and the fans are even crazier today than they were back then. So Jake Paul, there's a photograph here. He's got a sniper rifle in an airplane for some reason. He's got cash all over the airplane, the seats all over the floor. On the right side, he's got, I don't know, is that some machine gun, it looks like. And he's also got a water pistol and a water machine gun and some pillows. All this in a plane. Being a jerk. And the thing is, though, we call this douchebaggery. And this kind of douchebaggery, it works. When people see you throwing cash around, for whatever the reason, they tune in and they want to see more. Andrew Tate does the exact same thing. He's throwing money all over the place. All right. I made a video where I'm holding cash. I was showing you what $16,000 in cash US looks like. And I did that to make the point that that $16,000 in cash was a commission that I was paying to someone that made a sale for me. And I got a ton of emails on that. Wow, you're doing so well. Look at all the cash you had. It was a stack of cash about this thick. That's it. But throwing cash around, it works. It gets people to tune in. So Jake Paul here, as you know, he got in the ring with Mike Tyson some time ago. Let's actually bring that video up right now if we could. Where, here we go. Not to be disrespectful, Jake Paul does this with his face in order to say that it didn't hurt. I don't want to get slapped in the face by Mike Tyson. I'll tell you that right now. I think Mike Tyson is hilarious. And Jake Paul then makes the challenge to Mike Tyson. I'll pay you $20 million to get in the ring with me for whatever it was. I watched the fight. It was ridiculous. Obviously, it was rigged. Tyson hit him really hard in the first couple of rounds. And you could see Jake Paul kind of grabs him and whispers in his ear saying, you know, take it easy or you're not going to get paid. I'm pretty sure that's how the conversation went, which means that professional boxing has now become WWE. So after watching the Tyson and Jake Paul fight, I'm done. I'm done with boxing. But I'm not angry with Jake Paul for that. I would, if I was going to, let's say I cared enough about boxing to be angry, I would actually be angry with the fans who showed up for it, thinking, what are you people doing? You know it's a farce. You know, Tyson would win the fight hands down if it was actually a real fight. We know this. And how many of you out there guessed in advance that that Jake Paul was going to win because it was Jake Paul's event? I don't think anybody paid attention to the fact that it was actually Jake Paul's event. He set that up, he and his brother Logan, and so on. And yes, Mr. McDougall says it's entertainment. Yes, it is. This is a lecture about marketing, not about boxing. I don't give a crap about boxing. What I'm trying to tell all of you is that you can do the exact same thing. So I know a lot of you, my fans, and God love you, God bless you for it. A lot of you will send me articles or send me videos where somebody is insulting me and criticizing what I do and disagreeing with me very publicly. You don't need to defend me. Let them do it. It's free advertising for myself. It's kind of like entertainment, especially when I make the follow-up video and then they get upset and make their follow-up videos. You know, whatever it might be, it's entertainment. It works. It brings traffic in the door. So I wanted to point out here with Jake Paul, I'm going to just quickly show some photos here. This guy that he's fighting, this Josh guy, is like 6 inches higher. This guy came out to play. Lord knows how much money Jake Paul made off of the Tyson fight. The rumors had it was over $54 million. Now, the IRS would get about half of that, but that's still a lot of money. Then we've got this fight here with this Josh dude who didn't appreciate the taunting. He signed a contract. He was not supposed to break Jake Paul's jaw in 2 places. He was supposed to let it go to the end, and Jake Paul was supposed to win by decision, just like what had happened with Mike Tyson. But I think now that this guy has gone out and just given him a good wallop, that Jake is going to have to change it up and go back to fighting the weaker guys. That's just my thought. But keep this in mind. Even though Jake Paul got his jaw broken by this guy, he still made over $96 million. Plus all the clothing, plus the donations that he got, plus the beverage sales, plus the list goes on. And if somebody wants to say to me, Kevin, can I break your jaw with a solid punch for $94 million? Yeah, I'm not going to like it, but yeah, I'll heal in 3 months. And I've still got the $96 million or 94, whatever it might be. All right. That is the reality of it, guys. This was an event. I don't think it went the way that Jake Paul expected it to. I think the other dude got upset, had enough of being lipped off at, because believe me, when you're being lipped off at by an obnoxious individual who doesn't have the skill set or the strength to actually back their words up, sometimes knocking them out is the correct response. Sometimes. All right. See, there's a photograph here of Jake Paul spitting out blood. His mother's in the background and behind him there. And he's deliberately got this photographer. And the photographer is very good, by the way. The photographer's got him spitting blood, this long line of blood coming out of his mouth. Good for him. Then he's got the photographer following him into the hospital room, where in this photograph here, you can see his face is completely swollen. They've wired his jaw shut, and you can see where he's missing some teeth now, and his jaw was broken in 2 places. But he's still making a ton of money off of this, an absolute ton of money. Then to go one step further here, his brother Logan Paul is now challenging the same guy to a fight. I'm thinking, oh my, yeah, here we go. Good for them. They'll make millions on it, and all of you are going to line up to actually buy tickets for it. Now, Jake Paul made a video. It's like 14 minutes long. I'm not going to show it. I'm just going to show you a couple clips here where he's walking around showing off this amazing house that he has. That's the sky view of it there. Big swimming pool. Look at that. He's got a swimming pool with another swimming pool going underneath it as like a tunnel. And he's got a hot tub there in the bottom left. He's got a guest house on the far right there. He's got the big house on the far left. And he shows how well it's decorated. The house is beautiful. It is beautiful. And he's earned it just by getting on stage and lipping off at the top of his lungs. He's earned it. Look at that freaking pool, man. It's hilarious. Now, check this out. This is inside of his house. You see 5 guys here. Each one of them has 3 screens, and it's all lit up with neon lighting. These guys are his full-time marketeers. These guys are running his social media for him 24 hours a day, it looks like. And that is the right way to do it. And that's what a lot of you never factor in. In marketing, I know that especially in Canada, everybody's worried about offending someone. So your marketing campaigns are not loud and abrasive. You don't have social media people working for you. And that means you're not gaining any traffic. You need to have an incredible, not necessarily a team, but at least one incredible individual who's doing social media for you. A lot of restaurants out there have Instagram, and that's it. It's all they got, Instagram. Whereas you should be on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And then you got to go to some of the alternatives like Gab and Clapper. And also don't be afraid to utilize BitChute, because BitChute is actually very good at SEO. And if you were to get someone to put up, let's say, 2,000 videos about your restaurant and put all the SEO into it, believe me, you're going to get found. You need to do all these things. Jake Paul's doing it. I'm doing it now. I've got 2 social media people right now doing all this for me, and a video editor. And I've just bought into a very interesting place where we're going to move the show to in February of next year. So we got to make sure that we're always utilizing modern technology. Stay ahead of the game, everybody. If you are running a business in Canada, don't be afraid to offend people. Remember what Bill Cosby said? Not that I'm a Bill Cosby fan, but he said, I do not know what the key to success is. However, I do know the key to failure is trying to please everybody. You're not going to please everybody. You can't help everybody. Not everyone's going to like you. Here's the best part, though. Not everyone's going to hate you, right? Not everyone's going to avoid you. And some people may actually like you. That's just how that is. So market. Run crazy events. Think like an entrepreneur, like the Paul brothers do. If you run a business, you are not an employee. You're the everything guy. You've got to come up with all of these ideas. You need to be looking into what technologies can assist you in gaining more ground out there. You need to know how you can get to bigger audiences. Example, technology some of you may have never heard of. Geofenced advertising. What does that mean? If you walk inside of a certain area, let's say downtown Calgary, and I'm going to be doing this, by the way, in certain areas of the city, you walk in that area, boop, you get a text. The text will say, did you know that the great and amazing, astounding Kevin J. Johnston once stood here and shook hands with John? By the way, Kevin J. Johnston is the #1 tax guy in Canada, and hit the website right now. That's how crazy it's gotten. You can have geofencing in place where people walk into certain areas, and that's when they get a text. I could set it up, and I don't even have to ask permission for this. I could set it up that as soon as you walk into Calgary Saddledome or in Toronto, whatever the Leafs play in now, is it Scotia, whatever? I don't even know what it's called anymore. Or let's say I had American clients and you walk into Madison Square Garden. As soon as you walk in, beep, your phone gets a text and tells you that Kevin J. Johnston is going to be sitting in the rafters. Look out for him. By the way, he's the #1 tax guy going. Oh, yeah, this stuff works. And a lot of you don't know that it's out there. You really don't. So you're not taking advantage of it. There's a lot of companies now, they're putting screens at urinals. I mean, as men, yeah, you got to go to the John. So you stand at a urinal, and especially if you've had 4 or 5 beers. Okay, you got a screen, though, right here in front of your face with advertising. Why not advertise there? There's a lot of billboard companies out there that'll just rotate ads. You notice that a lot of billboards are big LED TV screens now. Find out what it's going to cost you to get your ad to rotate on those screens. But don't be afraid to ask all the serious questions. How many clients will I get from this? Do you guarantee me XYZ number of hits on my social media and or website? These are things that you can do. This is stuff that Jake Paul does and his brother Logan Paul does. Look how much money this guy is making as a result. And then on top of all of this crazy fight with Mike Tyson that he won, and it was crap. This crazy fight that he's lost by KO, has led to him with these big jaw injuries and whatnot. Everyone's talking about this all the time. And then there's more videos to watch here. For example, this
fight was most definitely rigged. Here's some evidence you might have missed. Tyson was doing fantastic at the beginning, landing some big shots and knocking Jake around the ring. But that changed when Paul clenched with Tyson. It's alleged he whispered into Tyson's ear to cool it, and the message was confirmed received by Tyson with the affirming tap on the back. After that moment, Tyson became a stick in the mud, standing directly in front of Paul with no more aggressiveness to him. Like here, for instance, Tyson can see the right hand plain as day and makes no attempt to slip it. My next reason is Tyson was definitely pulling his punches. Tyson looked as if he was struggling to hold back and not throw punches at Paul. Here's a perfect example. Tyson deflects the shot off his shoulder, comes up in perfect position to land a counter right hand, but does nothing. Very uncharacteristic. And my final reason is Tyson biting his glove. The reason he was doing this was to remind himself not to throw punches and let Jake control the...
All right, there you go. So Jake Paul put that video out. He is putting videos out where he's allowing people, like he's stating that the fight was rigged. What does it do? It creates doubt, but it also gets people talking about it. All right. And Yawning Cage, you own a hockey apparel company? I got to talk to you. So I want you to go to my website right now. Randy is standing by right now. Hit the contact form and put hockey jersey in the subject line with your phone number. I want to talk to you about hockey apparel. I've got a hell of a marketing idea that you and I got to discuss. I think you're going to like it very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Then this next video pops out.
I'm going to sue Anthony Joshua on behalf of my fiance. He has absolutely no sense of contract. He brutally slapped my Jake in the face on stage like he had rabies until his jaw was broken. Now I see my beloved lying in the hospital, only able to eat liquid food, his handsome face turned into a pig's head, and it breaks my heart. Jake has always considered boxing his greatest passion. Even when his opponent's punches are heavy, he's incredibly patient and resilient. But this time I simply couldn't take it anymore. Anthony clearly punched him in the face on purpose. His goal wasn't to win, but to humiliate Jake. Jake's face isn't just his trademark, it's the core of his commercial value. Destroying Jake's face is tantamount to destroying his career. Not only that, Anthony has also destroyed our happiness. We were planning to get married next spring. We could have been the envy of everyone. But now, because of the disfigurement, the wedding has to be postponed indefinitely. I not only have to focus on my speed skating career, but I also have to shoulder the responsibility of caring for my fiance. But I will absolutely not back down. Anthony, you wait and see. See you in court. You must compensate my fiance for his losses and apologize to him.
Okay, everyone. So marketing 101, that's an AI video. All right. That's not her talking. It looks like her talking. And whoever did the video cuts did a pretty good job of that. But that's AI. And AI is getting to the point where nobody can tell who's talking, the computer or the individual person. And yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, Mr. McDougal's laughing at a speed skating career. When was the last time any of you bought tickets to see speed skating? I think the only time that I would consider it is if every chick skating in that particular event was super hot. I am a healthy heterosexual man after all, but I'm not driving more than 10 kilometers to do it. I can tell you that right now. All right. So that is, that's Jake Paul allowing this AI stuff to get created. So it's creating more buzz. He's admitting it. I had a contract with this guy. He was not supposed to knock me out. He did. He broke the contract. Now my wife's got videos where she says she's going to sue him. It's more free press. All right, guys, start thinking about how you can do this with your business for 2026. It's great to be rich. I love being wealthy, people. I love it. All right. Next video.
I accept your challenge, Logan Paul. I'd even fight you for free if you really want to end up spending Christmas the same way your brother does, drinking through a straw. You were right there that night, and aside from sneaking over to touch my chain after the fight, what exactly did you do? Yelling like a clown. You're an antique now. You lost every round. Is that really all you've got? You think that affects me? I let you stand there because I wanted you to see it clearly. I said I was going to take his soul, and I did. Do you honestly think your WWE theatrics and internet hysteria scare a real heavyweight champion? Let me tell you what happens next. You'll sign a contract with a number so big it feels unreal to you, convinced it's the peak of your career. Then you'll step into the ring and face someone taller, heavier, and forged by real wars. Honestly, fighting you two is the easiest money I've ever made. And my fist won't hesitate or show mercy, unlike what your brother did when he went after Mike Tyson. I'll be waiting for your team to send a contract. Don't keep me waiting too long unless you've already lost the balls to fight your next match.
All right, there you go. So that's the guy that knocked Jake Paul out. Now, Logan Paul threatened or challenged him to a fight, whatever else, and he's firing back with this. Now, again, that is an AI-generated video. I'm starting to be able to pick these things out now. It's still authorized by him and by Jake Paul. So these guys here, we don't know if they're having a friendly battle, I guess, in public and hanging out and having beers in the background. We just don't know. But what we do know is that the whole of North America and even Latin America, because they love boxing in Panama, I'll tell you that right now, everyone is talking about it. And remember what Oscar Wilde said? The only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about. Well, Jake Paul and Logan Paul have found a way to be talked about incessantly every single day. And I want each and every one of you watching right now to comprehend that that is exactly what you need to do to succeed. We are no longer in the world where you open up a store and people walk in and you make money. Those days are gone. The days of opening up a store, having it open at 9 a.m. and close at 5 so you can go home and beat traffic, those days are gone. The idea of the owner of the establishment getting in early and going home early, or getting in late and even not staying past lunch, those days are gone. There is a severe lack of competent people to hire these days. I know this. I've had a hell of a time hiring competent people in the last year or two. That's one of the difficulties. And the other part is, even when you do put somebody in charge, with the way that morals have decayed in our modern society, are they going to steal from you? And if they do, and you catch them on camera, are you going to get your money back? How do you actually get your money back without using a baseball bat to the knees, which of course is illegal? I don't recommend it. Although it would work, I still can't recommend it. It's a very difficult time to be in business these days. So if any of you out there are already in business, you got to find a way to be like the Jake Paul and the Logan Paul brothers. Get your name out there. Get people talking about you. Create a buzz. If you're not sure what business you're going to start, this is the advice I'm going to give to everybody out there right now. You've got to find something that you can sell that's pretty much serviced based, where you don't have to buy stock and carry stock. Something out there is called shrink. And I'm not carrying stock ever again. I don't want to have any stock in any warehouse because it gets stolen. Mice get onto it and chew the pages of your books. Mice get in there and crap all over your cans if it's food. Mice get in there, and so do other weird rodents. They get in there and just rip everything apart. Yeah, so find something that doesn't require storage space, and then be loud, be abrasive, be obnoxious, and take advantage of all the technology that's available out there right now to get your name out there, all of it. And don't forget the old tricks. The old tricks are still the best tricks, everybody. Why aren't people doing flyer drops or postcard drops? Because you can get full color postcards for a penny a piece, and then have Canada Post distribute them for about 9.75 cents per piece. I mean, I worked it out that to hit the entire city of Calgary would be $62,000. That's it. Every address in the city could get a 9-inch by 6-inch postcard from me. And I'm probably going to do it. These are things to consider, is as technology makes older ways of doing things obsolete, the people in those industries will start giving really big breaks on the price. Printing is at an all-time low in price, all-time low. You can make deals with everybody, everywhere, to get printing done at really reasonable prices. And then you have to get the distribution networks going. All right. All right. So I want to just point out something here. Mr. McDougall says, I'd rather stay small, peaceful, and profitable. I have zero interest in peace. I love chaos, everybody. You have to embrace chaos. You want to be hyper successful. You have to be chaotic. Everybody out there needs to be looking at you, paying attention to you. In some cases, envying you, and in other cases, fearing you. And if you're not hated, criticized, and feared, you're doing everything wrong. Everything wrong. Refer to what the Paul brothers do. Refer to this stupid boxing match that just took place that people care about. I don't care about it. I actually am saluting Jake Paul. He took an ass kicking for over $100 million. Now, there's one more thing, one more video I've got to play for all of you. And before I do that, I'm going to address this one statement here. Mr. McDougall says, my pastor did multiple postcard campaigns with Canada Post, 10,000 flyers. We got one disciple. It's difficult to convince people to join a church. It's easy to convince people to bring a coupon into a restaurant for 2-for-1 Tuesdays on chicken wings. Very easy to do. It is incredibly easy to get people to go to a car wash, buy 3, get 1 free. Come on, that's great. It's easy to get people to go to a buffet restaurant, buy 3, get 1 free. It's incredibly easy to get people to go to a movie theater or a bowling alley or anything where they're going to be entertained. And it's right now, Mr. McDougall, exceptionally easy for me to advertise tax services because the Canada Revenue Agency is bankrupting everybody, and Canadians are desperate to get their taxes fixed, and no one's doing it but me. Nobody. Mr. McDougall, why don't you do flyer drops, bring tax clients to me, and get paid huge, obscenely huge commissions? It's what I do. I love giving money to people that bring me business. Last video. This is one, you got to hear this. So I'm going to turn the volume up loud for this one. Here we go.
Jake Paul just became the first influencer to literally turn himself into an AI product, and it's actually genius. Here's what happened. He announced that he invested in OpenAI and joined the team behind Sora, that new AI video tool that you've been seeing everywhere online. And with that, he's stating that he became the first celebrity to license his likeness for a cameo feature. Basically, that means that anyone can generate hyper-realistic videos of Jake Paul from text prompts. Think about that. You type in a sentence and boom, Jake Paul is saying it. And reportedly, he said that in 6 days, those AI cameos racked up over 1 billion views across TikTok and Instagram. And the wildest part is that it didn't require him to film or post one clip. And from a marketing standpoint, this really does change everything, because now brands can license a celebrity's likeness and generate endless custom videos for a campaign instantly and in every language. No shoots, no contracts, just prompts. It's user-generated content, but now the users are playing with AI versions of celebrities. And Jake just proved that it works because he got $577 million in earned media in under a week. But there is a flip side of this. It opens up a massive can of worms because it enforces conversations about consent, copyright, and deep fake ethics faster than regulators are able to keep up. But still, from a business perspective, this is brilliant because now he doesn't need to post every day. People do it for him.
All right. Jake Paul, after getting his ass kicked in a boxing ring by a guy who broke the contractual agreement to not break his jaw, made an additional $577 million, allowing everybody out there to use his face in AI. I think I'm going to try it. I'll have a face of him maybe cleaning my toilet and talking about how wonderful I am at tax. Maybe I've got to pay a couple of bucks to get that to happen. If I've got to pay $5, $6, $7, or even $30 to get an AI generated, Jake Paul or Logan Paul, or the two of them telling all of you how amazing I am, sure, I'll do it. Why? Because he's trending right now. Why not utilize who is trending, use AI to make them talk about your product, pay them a couple of bucks for it, and be done with it? If a politician gets into a car crash because they're drunk, you immediately go to AI and start using their likeness for advertising. You need to be up on the trends. I've been following the news for 25 years, and I can see the amazing Mike Martins, who's the 20-year plus podcaster on the West Coast of Canada. He's been doing the same thing. And we have to, as guys who are in the media game, understand what's going on worldwide. So this Jake Paul thing, after I saw that video this morning where he made $577 million in a week, allowing his likeness to be used in AI videos, dang it, I'm going to use it. It's just one more vehicle that each and every one of you out there can obnoxiously utilize to sell what you have. You want to be rich. You can't be kind and sweet and polite. Nice guys truly do finish last. All right, guys, you got to become monsters. I am teaching all of my, especially my male clients, how to become sons of bitches. You've got to become absolutely staunch maniacs in business. If you want to succeed, you can't wait for someone to pay you. Someone owes you money, go get it. If the government's giving you a difficult time, scream in the phone at them at the top of your lungs, send them off a legal threat. You cannot be a pushover any longer. And now you've seen how Jake Paul and his brother do it. Loud, obnoxious, rude, vile, vulgar, crass, but getting the job done. Pretending to lose, pretending to be evil, and making hundreds of millions of dollars doing it. I'll leave you with this thought here before we move on to the Q&A time. A lot of you out there are just not that aggressive, and I want you to be. I want you to start getting sinister about the way that you think about the world. The world sucks right now. Civilizations all over the Western world are in massive decline, which means you have to become that level of monster like the Jake Jake Paul and his brother, to get the attention that you need to get the money in the door. And when you get the money in the door, what happens? You're going to get taxed. You see, I would love to be Jake Paul's accounting guy. I could take all that money he's making and I could move it to Panama, to Grenada, to Argentina. I could move it all over the world for him and then declare bankruptcy in the United States, and he'd never have to pay a penny of it. He gets to keep all that money. I can do the same thing for you. So Canada, you can get wealthy, but you got to be hyper aggressive in business. You got to make money, and you got to make sure that I'm your tax guy so that you are not paying a single solitary penny in tax to the government. In Canada, you can actually get somewhat wealthy if you're not paying tax anymore. Because as Canadians, we are losing, not me, I lose zero, but we as people are losing 73% of our earnings to income tax, provincial tax, property tax, alcohol tax, Canada pension plan, employment insurance, and then these other bogus premiums out there that we got to pay. And on top of all of that, you see what the car companies are doing now. Like, everyone's getting screwed so badly. The car companies are selling you a car, but if you want to have your key fob open the door automatically, you got to pay $4 a month. If you want your Bluetooth on your phone to sync up with your car stereo, you got to pay $14 a month. Everybody's got their hands in your pockets. Everybody. Recommendation, buy a car from 1998 backwards. Forget the technology on the cars. But at the other side, the other end of things, make sure that you're embracing technology and never paying tax. All right, folks, there you have it. That's my thoughts on Jake Paul. I'll repeat myself. I do not care that he's obnoxious. I do not care that he is a jerk. I don't care that he lost the fight. I don't care that the fights were rigged. I don't care about boxing, because none of what any of that is makes me money at all. I didn't even watch the fight. I just saw the highlights about 4 hours later when everybody was sending me the video about, hey, check it out. You know, that loser Jake Paul got his jaw shattered. I'm thinking, economically, that guy's a freaking genius. He's no loser. That guy's worth more than many people in the world could possibly make in 500 lifetimes. And he's doing it by being a buffoon, by behaving like a clown. Good for him. You can do the same thing. Not necessarily be buffoons, but be loud and abrasive, just like him. And for everybody who wants to get a hold of me, do it on my website, please. My name, Kevin J. Johnston, JohnSton.com. And you'll find that in my profile. So to the gentleman that does hockey apparel, Kevin, my name, middle initial J, last name, JohnSton.com. Everybody that knows my website address, please put it in the chat if you could. I'd very much like anybody who is serious about getting a hold of me to do exactly that and to get a hold of me. All right, let's have a look at your questions now. Dustin, hit me on the website right now. Randy is standing by. He will hit you back immediately on whatever questions that you have. And Mr. McDougall says you can program all this stuff. If you are an AI programmer, get a hold of me on my website. You and I should talk, because I happen to love AI. All righty. So Spin One Ward donated $5 here on Rumble. Thank you very much for that. Are you actually available to meet up in person in Panama, or are you only doing virtual meetings? I've been trying to schedule face-to-face. Yes, Spinward, I do personal meetings. I've had probably 3 a week for the last, 4 or 5 months. All you got to do is jump over to my website, kevinjjohnston.com, mention that you want to have a personal private meeting here in Panama. Randy and Andrew will hook you up with that. I don't write my own schedules anymore, folks. I've got a team that does my scheduling for me. MZ Giggles is asking, hey, Kevin, thoughts on the Solana coin and thoughts on BNB coin? When are you going to do crypto show? All right. As for me with Solana and BNB, I take both. I'm holding both. I'm not going to spend them. I'm going to hang on to them. And anybody that has Solana and the Binance coin, I will take both of those for payment on any of my tax services. And I still give 10% discounts on anybody who pays by crypto. That's correct. You pay by crypto, you get yourself a lovely 10% discount. All right, let's go to the questions now in the room. Okay, Dustin, do I actually respond to people? Absolutely, we do. I'm a businessman. We got to reply to people. Remember, I've got a full-time team of 10 folks. Someone's going to answer you on that website there. I apparently have shark eyes, according to Spooks. I don't know what that means, so I'm just going to say thank you. All right. Hilarious Eli says, the Canada Revenue Agency updated some extra T5 slips after I did my taxes. They reassessed me and gave me a $20,000 penalty. The worst thing that anybody can do on a tax return, the worst, there's two. Number one, report a capital gain. That's stupid. Number two is to do a T5 slip. What a T5 slip is, everybody, is you getting paid in dividends, which is okay if you keep your mouth shut about it. But then for whatever the reason, whoever's paying you dividends always fills out those T5 forms because they say the same stupid crap that everybody else says. I don't want to go to jail. Idiots who speak like that. So the problem with a T5 is that dividends are so poorly defined in the Income Tax Act that the CRA will charge whatever they want. I've seen the CRA charge 50% tax on dividends. So we would have to redo your taxes and wash the T5s. We got to cancel the T5s. All right. And Jason Lamar is here. You guys, we're going to have the Jason Lamar video that we did last week. It's going to be available to watch this weekend. I'm going to run it live for the rest of the year. It's a great show. Great guy. All right. So Mr. McDougall says, yeah, okay, bro, I got something you will like. Okay, bro, if it's AI and it's going to take hours away from me working on manual stuff like letter writing or automatic email campaigns, then brah, let's talk. Get a hold of me on my website, man. I need automation, something fierce. And I've got plans to utilize AI properly. In fact, we're launching an AI tax software. So anybody after January 15th will be able to come to my website and do their taxes on their own, utilizing AI and pay zero tax. I'll repeat that in French, zero tax, okay? That's what my website's gonna do. And the reason I decided to go AI this year, 2026, is because the Canadian government is gonna be utilizing AI to automatically do anyone's taxes who haven't done them in a while. So we're beating the Canadian government to the punch by a full year. And I'm willing to bet that their AI system is screwed up when they launch it because everything the Canadian government does doesn't work the first time. When's my new AI tax? Well, I just said January 15th for my new AI tax. Okay, so Rufus says, I didn't report capital gains. They gave me a $10,000 penalty. How did they find out about your capital gain? Did you snitch on yourself on a tax return? Did your employer snitch? Did your accountant snitch? Somebody snitched. That's how they knew about it. But Rufus, I can give you a capital loss in the same tax year. If that capital gain is in the last 3 years, congratulations, I will get you back all that money. Okay, so Dustin Cormier, you're dealing with a lot from the CRA. I'm sympathetic to the cause. Use my website to get a hold of me. And everybody, I got to beg you all. There's probably 1,000 fake accounts of me right now. All African scammers, all of them. I do not ask for money in private DMs. I am not on Telegram in any way that matters. I am not on Signal. I do not jump into the rooms here, these chat rooms, and ask for money. I never ask for money unless we speak on the phone in real time, where you ask me questions and I answer them in real time without ums and ahs and long pauses like AI will do. Yeah. And if you're talking to me in the chat room, I've got the dark blue mouse and the blue camouflage mouse. Ask me to hold something up on my desk and I will do so. I've got my little rubber pointer here. I can hold that up for you. Yeah. I've got this lovely green cup that matches my wall. I chew gum like a cow, which means I've always got a pack of gum on my desk. All right, everyone? By all means, speak to me and ask me to prove to you that I am not an AI bot. It's going to get tougher and tougher and tougher, everyone, to pick out the difference between the two. But AI bots right now cannot interact with you in Zoom. And I'm switching my entire company to Zoom calls come January 1st. You'll be able to be in the Zoom room with me and my team, where the Zoom call is going to transcribe everything that we talk about. You'll get a copy of the transcription so that you can always go back and remember what we had talked about. I will not be asking for money in social media platforms ever. You get an official quotation from me or from my team. It's in writing. It's either going to be in your email box, or we're going to email you a PDF with a phone number to call to discuss the quotation if you have questions. And that's when we collect money from you. We speak in person or on the phone. You get a quote. You decide if you like the price. You decide if you like me. We do business. That's when we collect money. The only exception to that is when you are getting yourself a consultation with me. You don't buy those through social media. You get them on my website, kevinjjohnston.com. Scott, my coworker never did his taxes for 5 years, and the CRA did his taxes for him. They're doing that nonsense now. And what you've got to do is make sure that the second that they do that, you object to everything and you accuse them of being liars and fraudsters. And then you got to get me to redo your taxes and completely wipe out whatever tax bill they say that you owe. If any of you out there have adult kids or kids who are about to be adults, would you do us the kindest of favors? Never get them a social insurance number. Forget it. Tell them not to waste their time looking for jobs, to become entrepreneurs. That's the best thing you can do for them. Keep them out of the system as long as you possibly can. Hilarious Eli says the bank sends the T5. Why would the bank send a T5? Do you work for the bank? A bank can't send a T5 because you don't work for them, and the bank is not paying you dividends unless your employer has set up a very specific contract with the bank to be the ones who do the accounting for you, and banks don't do that. So there's more to that story. Let me know what the whole thing is. Dustin, I believe you. Use my website, please. Why would someone artificial intelligence me? Well, first off, I'm gorgeous, as you can tell. Charming as hell, as you can tell. No, guys, it's because I know what I'm talking about. It's because my website gets a ton of traffic. My social media gets a ton of traffic. It's because Canadians are desperate to fix their tax problems, and there's a lot of thieves and liars out there mimicking me because I'm the only one doing the real talking out there. No other accountant out there is going to tell you not to pay capital gains. No other accountant out there is going to tell you that you don't even have to do a tax return, that the CRA are criminals and crooks. I'm the only one out there that challenges the CRA. Come to my office. Come to my office and audit me. I dare you to come to my office and audit me. Who else does that? Everyone else says, I don't want to get audited. Even the accountants and the cops say that. It's true. So everyone, factor all that in, is that I am the one who's doing the rightest possible thing. And obviously the con artists out there are going to try to talk all of you into giving them money. Don't do it unless you talk to me directly. All right, everyone. Let's have a look over here at the Rumble room. And I think we got some, oh, hold on. YouTube's got some questions here. All right. Great question, everybody. For 2026, if you want to be rich, start bringing clients to me. I have one hell of a referral program where you saw me in my video where I was handing a guy $16,000 US in cash. Plus I had transferred him $4,000 earlier that day. All right. The one guy, one sale made 20 grand from me. I just gave it to him. And yeah, tax-free. I'm not telling the CRA, nor the ATO, nor the IRS who I'm giving money to. That's nobody's business except for me and the one who brings the deal over. So everybody, If you want to bring business my way, the corporate purchasing, the payroll we do, the GST collection that we do, the personal tax, the corporate tax, all of that, bring the work to me, get paid heavy duty commissions. I've got some people that just do sales for me. That's all they do. And they are making six figures. And they are very happy because the six figures are completely tax-free. And in some cases, actually in many cases now, we get them bank accounts down here in Panama and just leave the money here in Panama. Why not? The Panamanian banks are stable and they like to make money, whereas Canadian banks don't want to make money and are not stable. And they've got unstable people working for them, mostly foreigners. There we are. Get a hold of me on my website. If you want to refer to answer that question, if you want to refer people to me, you want to make some real friggin' money, get a hold of me on my website, everybody. That is where you are going to reach me. Do not DM me on social media. I don't have time to go through it. I truly don't. Oh, I see what one's saying here. Smack is saying T5 is for investment income. That would actually be the incorrect form. If the bank is issuing a T5 statement to you for investment income, you got to sue the bank because that is false reporting. That's ridiculous. If you've made money on a T4, sorry, if you've made money on an investment, you would get a T4 slip. That's how you do it, not a T5. Spooks says, so what happens when you hide the capital gains and they catch up with you in 10 years? Are there penalties? They'll ask you. They'll say, our records show that you should have paid a capital gain. If I'm your tax guy, we fill out affidavits stating that no. To the best of your recollection and knowledge, there was never a capital gain. And then what you do is you put it back on them to state that they are bothering you, that they are harassing you, threatening you, uttering threats, file criminal charges. That gets those pieces of crap to disappear pretty fast. Steve says on YouTube, what about people who get profits from prop firm day trading to a personal account rather than a corporation? What do you do to avoid tax? Don't do a tax return, or we do a tax return with monumental expenses. In order for me to wipe all that out, you're going to have a personal GST or HST number, and that way I can lawfully and legally put down every single expense, including coffee, detergent, soap, food, your rent, your mortgage, everything, absolutely everything. But it's always better to do day trading through a corporation, folks, into a corporate bank account where you don't tell the bank that you're day trading. You just don't tell them anything, because everybody in Canada, for some reason, just cannot wait to snitch on everyone. I swear to God, it's almost like the banks are getting a commission for snitching on all of you to the CRA. Careful who you share your information with. All right. Dustin says, I try to invest my money in tangible assets like gold and silver. It helps a little, but not. Okay, yeah. So gold and silver, guys, you don't make money on gold and silver in the short term. Gold and silver, and now copper, and possibly precious stones, but things like yellow diamonds and whatnot. Stuff like that, you make money 10 years down the road. That's what you call wealth retention. This gold and silver is what you should be buying if you already have a house that's paid off or close to it, because the value of the wealth won't change. The only difficult part is selling it to someone who wants to give you full face value for it. You're always going to lose that. So you lose a bit when you buy it and you lose a bit when you sell it, but the value will still be there. All right. Anyway, that's what you do there. If you're renting, don't have silver and gold, because you know who steals from people the most in a rental unit is the friggin' landlords. All right, think about that. So Smack says, what I say works. What I have said has been heavily scrutinized by your lawyer. Thank you for saying so. Greatly appreciate it. Everything we do stands up in court of law. Everything. You know, I like doing stuff legally, not because I care about the legal system at all. I don't care about it one bit. It's awful. But I'm still working within the confines of it, because that way, you know, I can cost the CRA a ton of money, make a ton of money doing it, and no warrants go out for my arrest. Okay. How often do I go live? Every Tuesday, except this is the last one for this year. Guys, I have been working, 12, 14-hour days for 2 straight years. I am taking at least a week off. My brain is full. And I mean, my brain's full. Like I slap myself in the head and numbers fall out of my ears. My brain is full. But I can tell you that the first show next year will be Tuesday, the 6th of January. And here's the announcement I'm going to make right now. On Tuesday, December 22nd next year, just a couple of days before Christmas, 2 days, in fact, before Christmas, I'm going to be giving away $1 million. That is right. The law states that in Panama, I can give $1 million away in a contest. I can't call it a lottery. Well, I can if I spell it differently. But so long as somebody who wins it does not actually live in Panama, I can give you the $1 million to your bank account from Panama. That's right, guys. We've made that much money in the last 2 years. I'm giving away $1 million. The raffle software is going to be all set to go for it, and people are going to be buying tickets throughout the course of the year. So if you want to win $1 million, everyone, the second that we announce that, which of course will be on January 6th of next year with our actual software, start buying tickets for it. All right. $1 million. $1 million. And I'm going to be very happy to do it. Panama's been good to me. The last 2 years of my life since I left that communist dump known as Canada have been very good to me. I'm very pleased with how things are currently in my life. And I'm looking very forward to sharing a lot more information with all of you about how it is you can never pay tax again and make more money. Get wealthy. It's great. Hilarious Eli says, the bank is legally obligated to send T5 to both you and the CRA. They actually have no such legal obligation. They choose to because they are cowards. That's why. They're not legally obligated to do a damn thing. Without a court order in Canada, you don't have to do anything. Nothing. Some loser at the CRA says you have to do this and this and this. Get bent. Get a court order. Go see a judge in one of the superior courts or supreme courts of the provinces. Not that stupid bogus tax court, the federal tax court, which is just a tribunal. Don't go there for any of that nonsense. Get a court order, and then we'll talk. Until that time, none of you should be cooperating with any branch of the government. All righty, who we got there? Question from FitChick. Which app do you use when recording your phone calls with the CRA or your clients? StreamYard, sometimes. Actually, that's a good question. I've got a recorder on my phone, but typically I am making phone calls from telephony software right on my PC and recording directly into StreamYard. That's the way that we do it. When's my giveaway? Well, it's kind of a lottery. It's a big raffle, everybody. Yes, you're going to have to buy tickets for it, but the tickets are going to be cheap, very cheap. We're giving away $1 million. It's that simple. Anybody in the world will be allowed to buy tickets because I don't see the point in not selling tickets to people. But I'm sure the vast majority of people trying to win 1 million Canadian dollars will be Canadian citizens. And you're all welcome to enter as many times as you like. And we're going to have a membership on our website starting February the 1st, where you get exclusive content that the public doesn't get. And when you do sign up for a monthly subscription on the website, you're going to get tickets automatically for the $1 million cash prize. All right. So how do you stop the bank from doing it? You don't bank in Canada. You do banking out of the United States, Panama, Argentina, Mexico. Don't bank out of Canada. That's how you avoid the banks giving away your private information to the CRA. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've got time for 3 more questions here. All right, how do I deal with a collection agency threatening to sue for 407 debt? Oh, all right, so what you're referring to there, everyone, in the province of Ontario in Canada, we have Highway 407, and that one is a toll road, which is the most expensive toll road in the Western world. There's one more expensive in Dubai. That's it. All right. we are going to have a service where you can have an Alberta or a BC or even a Wyoming license plate and drive that 407 highway whenever you want. One of our clients has a bunch of trucks. He pays $20,000 a year, a month. $20,000 a month in tolls on that highway. So we got him Alberta license plates. This highway is out in Toronto, in Ontario, which means they have no way to enforce collection of any of the debt. We got him Alberta license plates legally on the trucks, and now he drives the highway every single day and is saving $240,000 a year. With the 407, unfortunately, what we have to do with those guys is we have to make a deal, all right? Because you foolishly used a license plate registered to your personal name. Your license plate always needs to go to a numbered corporation so that in 2 years' time, when the plate comes due for renewal, you simply sell the car to another corporation and you get to walk away from the 407 debt. Bluesman says that the lottery amount or the winnings will be taxed. Not if I'm your tax guy. No, they won't. Plus, you don't have to declare earnings like that. So it's not like the Americans where they've got luxury tax of 48%. If you win on a game show, if there is such a thing in Canada, you get to keep the prizes. You win a lottery, you get to keep the cash. There's no tax on it. You win anything, you get to keep it in Canada. Thank God for that. So whoever wins the $1 million, it's theirs. It is theirs. There will be no 50% tax on that lottery win. So when you buy a corporation that hasn't filled taxes in 5 years, how do you clean it up? Here's the correct answer. Do you care? The way that we would clean up taxes that have not been done for 5 years would be to review everything that you say that you've done and put forward a report that's going to be beneficial to the corporation and not beneficial to the CRA. But the point of it is, if you've got a corporation with debt in Canada or Australia, I can buy that corporation and get you out of debt immediately. Absolutely immediately. Okay. If someone wins the lottery in Canada, what should they put the money into? Property, crypto, nothing else. There's no other good investments out there. Solar panels and wind turbines and all that stuff, that's all crap. None of that stuff makes money, period. Okay. Just checking out the rest of your questions here. How does somebody negotiate with the 407? A series of legal letters that would state that we believe your records to be inaccurate. We will not be paying the $1,000. We'll make an offer to settle this for $370. Yeah, you'd be amazed. Large companies will take settlement offers almost all the time. Just checking the rest of your questions here. All right, everyone. That's it for now. I am absolutely exhausted. It's been a very long 2 years. I'd like to begin my my 2 weeks of chilling the F out, and I'd like to begin them absolutely right now. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for constantly coming on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time to watch this show and to interact, to ask some really great questions, to become clients. I love working with as many people as I possibly can. I want to save as many dollars for as many people as I possibly can, everyone. So please don't stop coming back. We're going to have a better show coming in 2026. We're going to be giving away $1 million, literally $1 million in December of next year. And we're going to have even more tax advice that's going to help each and every one of you keep every single penny that you make. That's the only way to get wealthy in Canada. Stop paying tax. My name is Kevin J. Johnston. This is the Tax and Money Show, which runs absolutely every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We resume this show coming again on the 6th of January, and we're not going to miss a beat. Someone's going to be a millionaire off of this show next year. I can't wait to do it. Stay in touch. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I love you all, and good night.